Welcome to the Mitzvah Torah. This year is entitled to Women Make a Brachot on Mitzvah Tishas Magros. It's a Shofar, Lulav. Sukkah, part 2. In the previous year, he says, Machlokes Rambam Ravid. And we gave a simple reason. Rambam says no. Ravid says yes. Rambam says no. Because maybe he holds that the bracha goes on the chiyuv ha-mitzvah. When I discharge an obligation, a chiyuv, we're obligated. Women are not obligated. So they get a nicer mitzvah, they get a great reward for what they're doing, but they are not discharging a chiyuv, an obligation, therefore they cannot make the bracha. Or the others say, Ravi says, no, it's over the performance of Maisa Mitzvah, which they do have a Maisa Mitzvah. One question on the Rambam. The Rambam at the end of Hilchot Bracha in the last chapter says that we make brachot on mitzvot whether they are obligatory chovah or ein chovah. They're not obligatory. Person doesn't need to go ahead and build a house in order to have a mezuzah. Once he has a house, he has to put up a mezuzah and he makes a bracha. Person doesn't have to eat bread, but once he decides to eat bread, then he has to go ahead and make a bracha. But he stresses that we make brachot whether the mitzvah is a chovah or not chovah. He seems to be stressing you don't need chovah obligation in order to go ahead and make a bracha. And he has rabbinic examples such as netilat yadayim for bread and an eruv. Person sets up an eruv, that's rabbinic. You don't have to set up an eruv. But if you do, you make a bracha. You have tafshil and eruv chatzeros. Not about the eruv, a string around the town. That's surat petach. Talk about an eruv. So wait, the Rambam seems to be stressing, even though it's not a chovah. But if according to the Rambam, the rule is you make a berachat ha-mitzvah only when you have a chovah obligation. That's why women do not make a bracha on a mitzvah that's optional. So too, when we have an optional mitzvah, we should not make a bracha, such as eruv tavshilin or nitlat yadayim for bread, because we don't have to do it. So some may say that, well, when the Rambam says it's not a chovah, it's not an obligation, what he means is I didn't have to do this, but once I decide I want to cook for the second day Yom Tov, from the second day Yom Tov to Shabbat, or once I decide I want to extend my border, my boundary, then I have to make Erev Tafshil, I have to make an Erev Chatzeret, or whatever the case may be, Erev Tchumin. So once I do that, and then I have a chiv to set it up. And now I do have a chiv. It's just, the Rambam used to say, it's not an intrinsic obligation, it's something which has to stem from me. I don't know if that's a simple answer, because the fact that I decide I want to cook from Friday to Shabbos, from Yom Tov to Shabbos, and I have a chiv to set up an eruv, or it's just, if I want to cook, then this is what I do. I don't have a chiv not to set up an eruv tafshilin. I don't have a chiv to wash. I just cannot eat bread without washing. So I'm not so sure and convinced of the language of the Rambam to say that when he says there's no chovah, we still make a bracha. Well, there really is a chovah, because once I decide I'm going to eat bread, now that decision means I have a chovah. So my decision means I have a chovah now. Not convinced of that. It might just mean I cannot eat bread till I wash. There's an issa to eat bread till I wash. So if that's the case, and that svara is not so simple, what is the svara to say in the Rambam that by hechos brachos, by woman, no, women don't say brachos because she doesn't have a commandment. She doesn't have a chovah. But yet, we all make brachot on Erev Tavshilin and on Netilas Yadayim, even though there's no chovah. So maybe you could offer another svara that when you go ahead, perform a mitzvah the way Chazal set it up to be performed, then you make a bracha. You'll say, wait a second, we need a chovah. We need an obligation in order to make a bracha. Isn't that what we said for the Rambam? The answer is no, you need to go deeper in the Rambam. It's not the chovah, the obligation per se, which is crucial in order to make a bracha mitzvah. It's that you do the mitzvah in the ideal form, which means when it's a mitzvah seishas man grandma, the ideal form is the mitzvah does the mitzvah. It was set up for the men, and women are allowed to perform as well. But it was set up for the men in the framework and the misgeret of a chovah, an obligation. So therefore the men do it, and only the men do it, because they're doing it ketikuna in the proper ideal way. And women not. Nothing against them. They get the mitzvah without the bracha, according to the Rambam. the tilak never tavshilin. It's true there's no chova, but that's how the mitzvah is set. The mitzvah is set to be done, performed in a voluntary way. So that's the mitzvah ketikuna. So then the Ram says you make a bracha. So it could very well be that the Ram doesn't demand a chiyuv in order to make a bracha. He demands the mitzvah is done ketikuna in its full shleimut manner, and then and only then do we make a bracha. So that might be a svar. Shalom.